Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 4, text 12. Kankshantah karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. So Krishna in the previous verse he said, Ye yadha mam prapadyante tams tadhaiva bhajamyaham. There are different kinds of people and they approach me in different ways, some directly, some indirectly, some partially, and I reward them accordingly, according to their surrender. So one category of such people is these Iha Devata worshippers, the demigod worshippers. Why they worship the demigods? They want something on the material platform, very quick results, to enjoy something material. Kangshantaha karmanam siddhim. They are kankshanta, they are desirous of karmanam siddhim, enjoying their fruitive work, fruitive activities. Therefore, they resort to yajanta iha devataha. Iha devata means the devatas of this world. They are not transcendental. They are also personalities of this world, just like we are personalities of this world. Our bodies are material. Similarly, the devatas' bodies are also material. So, but these people who want quick results, Kangshantaha karmanam siddhim yajanta, they worship iha devataha, this devatas of this world. And what is the result they get? Kshipram, very quickly, siddhir bhavati karmaja. Very quickly they attain their results. Kshipram hi manushe loke, in this world, when people worship the demigods, quickly they get results from fruitive work in this world. Oh, such a great deal, isn't it? Firstly, as I said, Iha Devata means they are personalities of this world having material bodies. People, they mistake that these demigods are nothing but different forms of God. You can worship any of them and it is all right. No, they are not different forms of God. The Vedas, they mention Nityo Nityanam, there is one God, Krishna, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna, and these demigods are delegated with powers to manage this world. They are also living entities like us, but they have got different grades of material power. They cannot be equal to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, Narayana, or Vishnu. And it is said that anyone who thinks that the Supreme God and the demigods are on the same level, even though they may pose to be dharmic or theists, the Shastra says they should be considered as an atheist or a pashandi. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradi Daivataihi Samatvenaiva Viksheta Sa Pashandi Bhaved Dhruvam. This is a Shastric statement. We are not making it up. What it means is Narayanam Devam, one who considers the Supreme Lord Narayana to be on an equal platform, or one who considers the demigods like even great demigods like Brahma and Shiva, Brahma Rudradi Daivataihi Samatvenaiva Viksheta, one who regards them, considers them, thinks them to be on the same platform as Narayana, Sa Pashandi Bhaved Dhruvam, immediately becomes a Pashandi. A Pashandi means an atheist, one who is barred from the Vedic domain. Actually, the Lord is worshipped by the great demigods as Brahma and Shiva. Shiva Virinchinutam Sharanyam. So, unfortunately, people still fall for this Ihadevataha. Ihadevata also means not just a demigod in the higher planets, but also a powerful man of this world. People worship political leaders, businessmen, powerful people, isn't it? Why? Kankshantaha karmanam siddhim. They want something quick result, not knowing that they may get the result, but the result they obtain are temporary and are meant for less intelligent people. So one friend of mine, he told about this story, a real story. So there was this man who came to India somehow or the other, probably illegally, we don't know. So his parents are not there, and so he got in touch with some elderly people, and he made a good connection and called them, oh, you are now my parents, and all of that, from village background. And so he made a passport done by, bribery or whatever means. Tatkal, the passport came very quickly with the false names of the parents. And and somehow or the other he got a visa for some country. And then he went, because Tatkal means sometimes there is no police verification. So he went and he earned some money and he came for a holiday. And then there was a background check, the police verification kicked in. And then he was about to fly out, and then they impounded his passport. And then they said, no, now we have taken charge of your passport. You don't have a passport anymore. And now he is in danger. You see how people wanting temporary results, they try to take all these kinds of shortcut routes. They can bribe, they can do all kinds of things. They can get falsity and on the papers. But eventually what happens? Yes, they may enjoy for the time being. They get the quick results. Chipram hi manushe loke siddhir. But what is the end product? The results they get as temporary. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpamedhasam. So the less intelligent, they don't see the bigger picture. They fall for the ulterior, smaller benefits, temporary benefits, that which benefits which are antavat, kshine punye. Even if they go to higher planets by worshipping demigods, they have to come back and take a birth on this planet again. This is a temporary benefit. It is said in Shastra that all these powerful demigods, they are all deputed to take care of one aspect of this material world. Like people, they worship Lord Shiva, for example. Brahma Samhita says, Kshiram yadha dadhi vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tatah prudhagasti heto yashambhutamapi tadha samupaiti karyat govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So there is milk and there is yogurt. When milk is touched by this sour agent, then it transforms into yogurt. So yogurt, by constituency, nothing but it's milk. But yogurt cannot act like milk. So likewise, it is said that the Supreme Lord Krishna, he transforms into Shiva for a particular purpose. to take care of certain aspect of this material world. But Shiva himself says, Mukti Pradata Vishnurevahi. If you want liberation from this material existence, you have to go to Krishna or Vishnu. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param, Lord Shiva says. So there was one during Prabhupada's times. Obviously, there were Western disciples, and they came to India, and Prabhupada deployed them in spreading Krishna consciousness. So they went to South India and Madras at that time called, and so they were preaching Krishna consciousness, and some people told Mr. I think Ramakrishna or somebody, you go and approach, he's a very pious person. So this devotee went, and that person turned out to be a staunch Shiva devotee. And they got into, the devotee was preaching. Of course, he was young, and whatever he learned, he was just repeating, and this man became upset. And so finally there was a verbal duel, and who is the supreme and all of that. And then the matter came to Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada invited that person, respectable personality, and he was saying, your disciple is saying like this and all of that. And so Prabhupada clarified to him that, see, in Shastra there are two words. One is bhakti and the other is puja. So when one goes to a devata, they do puja. Puja typically means you do something and you get something in return. That is a puja. But bhakti is applied only to Krishna. Bhakti means pure service. You serve Krishna not with an intention to get some benefit for you. That is why people don't go to Krishna very easily. Why? The percentage wise, the Krishna consciousness movement, percentage wise, very limited set of people compared to Devata Aradhana or many other so-called spiritual movements. Why? Because not many are interested just to render pure service to God. So Prabhupada clarified that. And then this person asked, oh, is it not possible for somebody to worship a devata with bhakti? Prabhupada said, no. It is just like you go to a liquor shop. Why? You want to buy liquor. You don't go there with a view of serving something. Your purpose is to buy liquor. So it is very rare that people worship a devata with an intent to perform pure devotional service. So that is the difference between Devata Aradhana and Vishnu Aradhana. So like that, either Shiva or they worship Durga Devi. A lot of people are Durga worshippers. But Brahma Samhita says, Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka Chaye Vayasya Bhuvana Bibhatti Durga Ichhanurupamapi Yasya Chacheshtate Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Durga Devi is an agent of the Lord meant for taking care of this material world. And she is capable of Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, creation, maintenance and destruction of this world. Even though Brahma is the overall director in charge of creation, Shiva is director in charge for destruction, and Vishnu himself takes the role of maintenance. But they delegate this actual activity to Durga Devi. And that Durga Devi is mentioned as a shadow. Ichhanurupamapi yasya cheshtate sa. As per the direction, desire of the Lord, she works. As Bhagavad Gita also confirms in the 9th chapter. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam. By my superintendence, Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti, this material nature or Durga Devi is working according to my direction. She has no independent, she's not an independently powerful personality. Likewise, people worship Ganesha, a lot of Ganesha worshippers. But Brahma Samhita, see what it is saying. Yatpada pallava yugam vinidhaya kumbha dvandve pranama samaye saganadhiraja vignan vihantumalamasya jagatrayasya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Ganesha, he takes the lotus feet of the Lord on his head. Yat pada pallava yugam vinidhaya, he takes the pada pallava, the lotus feet of the Lord, he takes it on his kumbhastale. Vinidhaya kumbha pranama samaye saganadhiraja. And because he offers his respects, takes the lotus feet of the Lord on his head, he gets vignan vihantum alamasya. He gets the power to remove the obstacles of the living entities. Yes, he removes the obstacles, but where is he getting the power from? Krishna, Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Therefore, Lord Brahma says, I worship that personality, Govinda, who is actually giving the power to Lord Ganesha to remove the obstacles. So these are all Shastric statements. So there was this family, this father was bringing up this son. He grew up, and the father wanted the son to be a very nice man. And he was training him how to get a good job, how to become a good person with good character. And this son is quite not happy with the father. My father doesn't let me do this. For everything he says, no, you have to do the right way, apply the right way, learn the right way. Even though my father could recommend for a job, he doesn't do that. So he goes out and starts to venture on his own. He, bribes a few people here and there for getting a job. And then after a few days, he calls, he gets a call that he got a job. And then he becomes very elated. See, my father couldn't do it. I've, with my own intelligence, I've been able to get a job. I don't need to follow my father's direction anymore. So he comes home with the good news. Hey, I've got this job, great job, with my intelligence. And so he sees a lot of cars parked outside. And then he goes to the mother and asks, who are these people who came? And then she tells the names of the people who came to meet his father. And then all the people that he bribed, they're all there. That is their cars. They're meeting the father. And then he becomes shocked. Why are these people coming to meet our father? And then she says, your father is a great industrialist, a very wealthy man. But he didn't bring you up with that knowledge because he wanted you to learn things the right way, do the things the right way, become a good character person, don't take shortcuts. Actually, all these people, they get approval from your father to do their work. And then this son realizes that his father could have given him the job very easily, but he didn't do that because he had the good of the son in his mind. If he gives the shortcut, the son will not become a better person. The father could have done it, but the son went and bribed the same people who are working under his father. So like that, Krishna actually wants us to become purified. That is why Krishna will not give you anything so easily which will implicate you further in this material world. Krishna wants to purify you. Krishna can give anything. In fact, Krishna does give. When a devotee goes and asks Krishna even materially, Krishna gives to encourage the devotee to become more dependent on him, but he does not grant anything which will implicate him further in this material world. Oh, Krishna, let me rob this house. Krishna, let me go catch this big fish. Krishna will not grant you that because it is going to make you further come implicated in this material world. Whereas the devatas, they don't care. In fact, they are not in our heart. They cannot understand what is going on in our heart. It is only Krishna who has to communicate with them. And they are not the well wishers like Krishna. So they just are the caretakers of a particular part of the government. But Krishna only can wish well. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shantim ruchyati. He is the well wisher of all the living entities. Suhridam sarvabhutanam. Only when we come to that conclusion, gnatva mam shantim ruchyati, you will attain eternal peace. So, Prabhupada says in the purport, both the material worlds and their inhabitants, including the demigods and their worshippers, are bubbles in the cosmic ocean. In this world, however, human society is mad after temporary things such as the material opulences of possessing land, family, and enjoyable paraphernalia. To achieve such temporary things, they worship the demigods or powerful men in human society. If a man gets some ministership in the government by worshipping a political leader, he considers that he has achieved a great boon. So people consider them big guns in order to achieve temporary boons. So such foolish men are not interested in Krishna consciousness for the permanent solution. We want permanent solution, isn't it? We don't want a temporary solution where again we're back to the same problem. Permanent solution is Krishna consciousness, where we can get out of this material world. We can get rid of this janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. And that what gets us out of this material world? The mentality of not seeking anything for sense gratification, but serving Krishna's senses. And that is a process of Krishna consciousness. In our movement, the primary thing that differentiates from a material person, material process, is that we work for satisfying Krishna's senses. Working is not stopped, but for whom you are trying to work, that is different. In the materialistic case, you are working for your own self, for your own senses, and that is illusory happiness. That is always leading us into trouble. Whereas if we work for Krishna's senses, that is the primary principle of happiness. Sometimes people say, oh, why do you want to disturb Krishna? You can go ask. He has deputed the demigods, isn't it? So you can just ask the demigods, so you don't have to disturb Krishna. Krishna only gave the demigods the power. So what is the wrong in worshipping the demigods? That's how they ask. The wrong is that Krishna's instruction is in Bhagavad Gita is don't approach the demigods, and by approaching the demigods we are disobeying Krishna's instructions. Krishna can happily cater to millions of his parts and parcels, living entities, without We don't have to worry that Krishna is disturbed. In fact, Krishna wants us, Krishna created us for a lovely interaction. Krishna wants that reciprocation, even if it is tainted with contamination, because it will eventually get us closer to Krishna. So we have to obey Krishna's instruction. Going to Devatas is disobedience of Krishna's instruction. Krishna's instruction is Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. We should be fully faithful. If we take shelter of Krishna, all my necessities will be fulfilled. We don't have to depend on anybody. We don't have to depend on any Devata or any person in this world. Krishna is in charge. That is called strong faith. Shraddha shabde vishwas ko hai sudrudha nischay. Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hoy. Just by focusing on serving Krishna, all our purposes will be fulfilled. Sometimes devotees ask me this question, Prabhu, we have this particular deity in the Devata demigod in our home, so we are worshipping. Should we continue to worship or not? No, I say, no, not needed. When you worship Krishna, when you chant the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, it is like watering the root of a tree. Everything is automatically taken care. You don't have to worry that the demigods will feel bad and they will do something about you. That is your weakness of faith on Krishna. In fact, a devata becomes very happy that you have gone to the right person because they are also devotees of Krishna. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.